Hey guys, what's up? It's Isaac Atkinson, and I got joining me today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ray Meyer from Fresno, California.
Yeah, and me and Ray decided to get together and make a podcast because of you tell them, Ray. What's good? What's good?
Yeah, man. So we started up a Turo business and got real interested in the process and having a fleet of cars and just providing a service and having fun. And just adding it to our portfolio of businesses and applying like the acumen that we've built through other businesses and doing something else fun and adding it.
You're right. So, I don't know about you, Ray, but hella people have been hitting me up from the real estate industry out of all places.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm really connected in the event side for what I do.
Yep.
And more people, or I'm getting more questions from people who are doing mortgages and selling and buying of homes than anyone else, which is a trip.
Yeah.
That's your industry right there.
Yeah.
And the other crazy thing is, that's cool and all, but I want to let you guys know, Ray actually introduced Turo to me.
Which is dope. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, I am in real estate, mortgage, and it intrigued me. So, just getting into it, like I saw it on Instagram I just stumbled across it and I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, that looks kind of fun. I feel like I can do that in my spare time. And at the time, am I good to get into my the whole
go for it.
This might be long-winded, but basically I was looking at investments where I can buy a rental or an Airbnb. And I was looking at the capital involved on that, and at the same time, I was looking at one different venture, which was an e-commerce store. And I think I told you a little bit about that and the amount that it takes. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to do everything all at once. I just want to kind of get my foot in the door. And so I was doing the math on Airbnb, and you're looking at putting a down payment, 20% down on a property, that's $300,000 or, somewhere in that range. And then you have to furnish that property, which if you're going to furnish it dope and make it stick out from other properties, basically you want nice stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, you're upwards with the 20% down payment, closing costs, you're looking at furnishing, and you're in pretty deep. And then your cash flow per month, this is what I was really looking at. What do I make per month? What do I net? And how much time is it going to take away from the other things that I do? And so I looked at that. And then once I stumbled across Turo, I started just thinking about, okay, well, if I had one car, if I had two cars, if I had three cars, how much would I need to invest up front? And then what is the cash flow like? And once I started doing the numbers, I realized that I can cash flow just as much, if not more. And actually, the guy that I stumbled across and ended up joining his mastermind, they get some of the dopest cars I've seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's regular people like me and you, and I'm pretty conservative. Like, I don't drive a super flashy car at the time, and I was like, well, this might be able to, have a write-off and have different cars available. And so everything just started clicking once I did the numbers. I started thinking about how much fun it would be, and then I basically joined the mastermind and I studied it and just listened for about 3 months. I didn't want to just jump into it, but it was fun. So I was able to get into Turo with minimal costs.
Right.
I ended up purchasing 7 vehicles up front. I would have purchased more where I just didn't have a place to park. And that's actually, we can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'm figuring that out right now, right? So I probably would have purchased more, but I purchased one for myself, and I got six on right now.
Right.
And then, so I was able to do that with minimal costs. And then I was also able to still do the e-commerce store with Walmart. And I'm pretty certain that I'm in less than I would have gotten one Airbnb property, and I'm going to be cash flowing more at the end of the day.
Cool.
So it's not all rainbows and unicorns, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a little bit here. But it is a business that I'm starting up, and I'm figuring things out. And, we talk about that at least weekly now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's been fun, and we're trying to figure out systems, who we can hire for help, and just becoming the most profitable. But to me, it's been so fun because it's kind of different than what I've been doing.
Right.
I've been in real estate for about 8 years. That's been going really well. And, cars is something I've always loved, but I just never had an excuse to everybody thinks of them as depreciating assets. If you're not driving, classic cars are a different story. But, once I figured out that you can turn in our mastermind, they say turning liabilities into assets.
Yes.
Right. And so that's really been a thing for me. So once they started saying that stuff, everything started clicking for me. And Turo, my mindset was, we're in Fresno, so basically Airbnb, in my opinion, came late. Airbnb's popping now. People are starting to do podcasts on it and teaching classes and things like that. And then you're starting to see more and more properties today than 2 years ago. 2 years ago, you go to San Francisco, San Diego, LA, for example, and it's already popping.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Fresno typically comes late to the party.
Yeah.
And when I looked at Turo, I looked at, the Bay Area, Southern California, and it's maxed out.
Right.
On rentals, you have so many options, and I go to Fresno, and I think we're at the front of it. And I'm real excited about that. And so even I just got back from Cabo.
Right.
And I stayed in Dallas for a night.
Right.
Actually 2 nights. But I rented a vehicle from one of the top hosts there just so I can get 10 minutes of his time to pick his brain. And he gave me some ideas on parking. But he has 60 cars. And they're all economy. And so being able to pick what your focus is and your niche and maybe what's best for your area to cash flow and profit the way you want to, that was intriguing to me. So he gave me some ideas on parking and things like that. And so, I'm constantly learning, and it's fun to learn something new. On the side too, because I feel like initially what also crossed my mind was during COVID, me and my daughter and my son, we watched all the Fast and Furious movies, right?
Yeah.
So my daughter was she started getting into cars. She can call out Lambos and Ferraris on the freeway and all that kind of stuff now.
And how old is she?
She's 14.
Got it. Cool.
Right, so she's going to be driving in about 2 years, and I'm I don't know, you know what I mean? She's not really into real estate or anything like that, but I could tell she gets lit up about cars, and the new Fast and Furious movie came out. So basically, I was okay, well, if I can get this going, I can have her help out and earn her car when she turns 16 to 18, in that time frame where she can earn it, and also learn how to run a business with me. Right. And really, I want to teach my kids entrepreneurship and earning, not having to be the employee, but also, seeing it from a business owner perspective, and then going through that process with me. So she's doing little things right now, just little tasks, she took pictures to check it out. I was out of town one time, and the first booking on my Jeep, right? So the first booking on my Jeep, someone smoked weed in the car.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Before we talk about the Turo experiences, because I really think that's what people want to know the most. I guess the money side, and then should I do it? What's the con side? Yeah. So, anyways, so we'll save that for a bit. So your daughter, for sure. You're getting ready, or you pretty much, introducing your daughter to business. Yeah. This way, and you chose Turo, or Turo so happened to be a vehicle, literally. Yeah. To teach her, because that's what you could tell that she's gonna love. Yep. Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah. So I'm just priming her for it, and she may love it, she may not, but I feel like I have an opportunity for her to really take control of something. Right. I have a girlfriend too, because the workload's a little bit more. I know we're going to talk more about that. I have a girlfriend too who's going to help me with some of that. We'll probably add, once we figure out parking, we'll add more to the fleet. But really just crunching the numbers, really fine-tuning the systems. And it's fun because my business acumen came from real estate, and really how I do business there, and systematizing and everything else. So this is kind of refreshing and fun to me to do another venture. And people are like, oh, well, that's taking all your time away from real estate. I'm like, no, man. The way I think is, how do I leverage this? How do I build the systems so well and partner with people who want to work in that business so that they have an opportunity and I can kind of oversee things and provide a really good service to who's renting the cars. And so it's an opportunity for everybody, because I also want to do what we're doing right now,
right,
and share the experience and really just have an impact, because it's 2021 and there's so many different ways to make money right now.
Right.
And I just feel like we're at the front of it, at least in our city, and
100,
able
bro.
to tell that story. So
100.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you introduced Turo to me. So I think it's important that people understand how I got into it.
Yeah.
So before I knew, I guess I've heard of Turo, but I had bought a BMW X5, dude. I just bought the X5, right? Because I wanted to send my other car off to get customized.
Right.
And I needed something, and while that was happening, I needed something to get me around, because it was going to take a couple months for that to get done. Anyways, bump into you. Where were we at, bro? I forgot. Sam's house. Okay, we're at Sam's house. You start telling me about this Turo thing. I was like, I kind of heard of it. And then the more you talked about it, it's almost like you said, it's like, oh my gosh, I love cars, but I never was one to go out and buy a fancy car, though I could afford it, but it's hard for me to buy something that isn't an asset.
Right.
I hate buying liabilities.
Yeah.
And now in my head, it was like a switch went off. It was like, yo, I could buy what I want, and it could be an asset. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. How do I leverage this opportunity? And you talk about, like, Fresno always being behind, and, I feel like they are, but Turo's new here. Yeah. And I feel like as soon as you started talking about it, it's like that bell curve thing. I don't know if you're familiar with the bell curve term in business, but it's getting into a business right before as it's starting to peak. Yep. And I feel like we're right there at that time frame, especially with the airport getting direct flights, more and more direct flights, new airlines coming in, the parking structure getting bigger.
Yeah.
And obviously the real estate market's insane here. And I start thinking about all the growth that's happening. It's like, oh man,
100%.
Yeah. So I kid you not. After we talked, I thought in my mind, I was like, oh shit, I already started the clock on my credit in regards to the the inquiries that happen. Yeah. And if I want to do this, I got to buy as many cars as I'm comfortable with in that month period of time.
Yeah.
And it kind of led to 4 cars, and I'll talk about the cars that I got a little bit later and the experiences so far. But anyways, that's kind of how I got into Turo. Ray introduced me to Turo, and we do talk every week now, pretty much just kind of either our experiences that happened, or how to problem solve, or just kind of make the system that I'm creating and he's creating. I'm pretty sure we're just going to team up and kind of use the same system eventually, just to make our lives easier. So without further ado, should we talk about the I guess the what we've learned and
experience so far, man? It's only been like. And I just want to say, like, you took, like, I don't know how many days it was. It was like the same week. We were at our buddy's house having an old fashioned. I think we were watching a fight. And I think you called me like Tuesday or Wednesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, I just picked up. Oh no, you just sent me the pictures, and I was like, is that yours? He's like, yeah, I just picked it up. It was like the vet, and I was like, man, what? This dude does not play. So. Yeah, it's only been a couple months, I want to say. Not even.
For me, for listing, it's about a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the same time? Or you're probably like 2 months in?
About so, yeah. 2 months. And I didn't list everything all at once. We were waiting on... so one thing that people recommended was at least getting a GPS on it.
Right.
That we were waiting on, so we had to wait to get those installed. And it was just different timing on acquiring the cars.
Right. So real quick, because I'm pretty sure people want to know. From the time you purchased your first car and the time you actually listed on Turo, how long did it take you?
I would say about two weeks, maybe a little bit longer, just because... it was really the GPSs. I didn't want to put them out there, and I was still it was nerve wracking just doing waiting on that, and then you're like, okay, we got these payments going too, and so I would say about 2 weeks if I were to average it out.
All right. Yeah. It took me about a month, and same thing. I was waiting for the trackers to come.
Yeah.
And for the install, and man, so that's cool. So 2 weeks. You wait. You probably have the car in your possession now for about a month. You list a month in.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So what car was it?
So the first vehicle, what was the first vehicle?
I thought it was the Camry or the Jeep?
I'm pretty sure the Camry went first.
Okay, got it.
And it was funny because that wasn't even the first vehicle. It came with a low jack, which isn't like the top tier tracker that I want. So I got another tracker for it afterwards, but it had tracking on it.
Yeah.
And so I was able to list that one right away. And bro, that Camry is the one. Like, it's always out. It's always out. And I got a story because I just got it returned with a fender bender today. First time. So but that Camry stays out. Someone told me that the economy type cars do well, but the cars with different color interior. So I saw it with the red seats.
Yes.
And I was like, and I remember someone in the mastermind was saying, like, I got this car with red seats. I can't even keep it. You know, everybody wants it. It's constantly booked. And I was like, okay, it's a Camry. It's got red seats. And I've never had a Camry, or I think that was like outside of riding in an Uber.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first time driving it home from the dealership, me driving a Camry. I was like, man, this is kind of nice. And once I slapped it on, literally probably within, it was the same day, but it got booked for 2 or 3 days out. So it got booked right away. And it's typically the most rented car that I have.
Okay.
So that one's been doing really, really well. And I can touch on it real quick just because I'm on the Camry, but someone took it to the Raider game over the weekend. And they played the Rams in LA.
Yeah.
And so he texted me yesterday. Luckily, he's a cool dude. And he had his own coverage.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can have your own insurance coverage and opt for that, or purchase the Turo coverage.
Right. And
so someone rear-ended him, and he texted me right away. He's like, bro, I'm sorry, like, this guy hit me. I got all his information. His policy is current. They're going to be able to take care of it. And I was like, just document everything and bring it to me tomorrow. I'll meet you in the morning at drop off.
Yeah.
And I typically never meet anybody.
Right.
This is like probably the second person I've ever met on Turo. Everything else has been remote. So you could barely even see it. Like, I could probably still rent the car and document and just say, hey, there's a small little, blemish right here. But it's getting covered by, I think they have State Farm or something like that. So just having to go through that little hassle there. Not everything's going to be perfect, but every business has its problems that you have to deal with. And so through this process, I'm trying to figure out, how do I streamline this so it doesn't take a lot of my time.
Right.
Because I had to go take pictures, I had to inform Turo and like all that stuff. And so it's part of the game. And, there's going to be, I had, rim rash on another vehicle that I'm sure we could talk about. I think we did already.
Yeah.
But, it's not for if you're emotionally attached to your vehicle, which I think I am on one of them,
don't
the Range Rover.
Don't do it.
It's going to be tough. It'll be tough to rent it out.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I keep one car for my day-to-day, and that's the Tesla Model S. I would probably be comfortable renting that out if I'm out of town for like a week. I haven't tried it yet. I've been pressed for time and juggling everything, but I would be comfortable, and I just don't think that if you're emotionally attached to cars, like want to keep them clean all the time and like very, very meticulous, might not be the business for you, just because for me, I can literally just look at it as, this is an asset. It's the same thing as having tenants in an apartment or a condo or a house that you rent. Things are going to come out. They're going to spill wine on the carpet, living room carpet. They're going to break the AC or, whatever.
Right.
So you got to deal with those little issues and know how to handle them and not be, have control over your emotions and not be attached to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, let's talk about the Jeep.
Yeah.
All right. So you ran out the Jeep, first trip.
Yeah, very first trip.
So what happens?
Okay, so I didn't know how to tell that it's people's first trip also. I know how to tell that now. And I have what's called instant booking. You can have instant booking versus someone clicks on your vehicle, they request it for 2 weeks, and then you have to approve it.
Right.
So everything I didn't know was on instant booking.
Right.
And so this guy booked it. He picked it up. It was all good. I never met him. He accessed through just a remote unlock. And he comes back and he's like, hey, everything's good. I parked it. I checked it out. It's all good. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I checked the car and I'm leaving out of town. I don't even remember where I was going. But I had to catch a flight. But I wanted to check it real quick and get the mileage. And I go in and, man, when I say it reeks, like I grew up around like all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just friends. But it reeked bad. And I'm like, oh, man. And I already gave the dude a review based off his conversation. Because I was just in a hurry, bro. I was going to the airport. And I gave him a review. I checked it out. And I already put everything was all good.
Right.
But you can still claim an incident on Turo after the fact.
Right.
So I was worried about getting the review. He was like my third booking. So all I wanted was a good review from him. And I was like, man. So long story short, I had to catch my flight.
Yeah.
And I started researching this stuff on Turo. And it's like, you can charge them... right now, I think it's only up to $150 to get the smell out.
Right. Yeah.
Right, and you can purchase those things on Amazon. The ozone.
Right. Did you buy one?
Out. I didn't, but I'm going to.
Okay, cool.
Like I want one.
I'll borrow yours
because I think it's a thing now, right? We can borrow it.
Yeah.
But they won't reimburse you unless there's evidence in the vehicle.
Right.
So I called my daughter. I was like, hey, like I'm out of town. Can you go? She's at her mom's, and so I was like, I'll give you $20 to go take pic and find. And my daughter's sharp. She's 14, and so I put her. I don't have a filter with her on a lot of things, just so she knows the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So go find the joint.
I was like, it smells like marijuana, weed in here. I need you to find little green leaves or something, ashes.
Yes.
And she found them, and then I submitted the pictures. Gave her $20, and they reimbursed me $150 to get the smell out. And honestly, I left the windows cracked. By the time I came back, it wasn't as bad. But I just took it to our local full-service car, the Red Carpet. Shout out to Red Carpet.
Yeah. I use them all the time.
I took them there, and then at their waiting room, they had a little, scent removal, odor removal type of spray, and I just got that, and it worked out. So, but yeah, it was my first time, but it was just, thinking through the hassle and not knowing, being in that situation before. Now I can do it pretty quickly.
Right.
And someone smoked in the Camry.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I got it out real quick, and they paid the invoice. I said, hey, you can literally talk to them, say, hey, it smells like weed in here. You can either, pay this invoice up front, or I'm going to have to go through Turo, and they're going to kick you off the platform.
Right.
Type of stuff. Because if you get caught smoking weed with evidence, I'm pretty certain that they'll kick you off the platform.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. So speaking of the smoking part and the $150 you could charge them, this is kind of important because I know people are looking for what can we share with them.
Yeah.
Do you get the $150 reimbursement because of your split with Turo, because of the program that you picked?
Right.
So real quick, just to be clear, I'm sorry. So meaning Turo's covering that $150 and they go after the client, right? Not the client paying you $150.
Right.
If I'm correct on that.
Turo goes to them. So what he's referencing to is outside of the $150, when you rent your cars on Turo, you get to pick a split with them, right? So I think it goes anywhere from 65-35, where 65% of the payment from the customer you get to keep, and then Turo keeps 35, and that, so you choose yours, and it's based on insurance coverage and deductibles. So if you want a lower deductible, you get a lower split plan, and then if you're able to swing a higher deductible with less coverage, you can go all the way up to, I think, 90.
I think it's 90.
95 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, if you have your own insurance.
Correct.
Your own commercial insurance.
So when it comes to invoices, I believe it's a 95.5 because they're the ones pursuing and obtaining. And I literally think they pay it and then they go after them.
Got it.
So
is that what happened in your case?
Correct. So
okay, got it.
I forgot what it was. It might be 95%, but I'm pretty sure it's in the 90s. And they're raising that smoking fee, which I saw in a Facebook group, the Turo Facebook group, where I think it's going to be $250 now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So Real quick, I kind of want to share mine now.
Yeah,
my first experience, you know.
I don't think I've heard it yet.
Yeah, it's not that bad, actually. You know, big shout out to my renter. I don't think he's going to mind me mentioning him. If you're in Miami, look him up. His name is Curtis. He focuses on Jeeps. But anyways, so my first giving up the keys the very first time was to someone who rents on Turo, which made me feel better. Because, man, giving up those keys the first time, it was kind of an awkward feeling, right? So anyways, I meet him, you know, we chop it up for a bit, find out that I think some of his boys were not drafted, what would you call it? Got scholarships to Fresno State.
Okay.
You know, but he's originally from out in Miami, so they stay here now. You know, they're no longer at Fresno State. They stay here now, and he comes to hang out and visit. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. So anyways, I give up the keys to the BMW, the X5, right? And I take a couple pictures. You know, when you are on Turo and you open up the app, it's saying, okay, take a picture of the side, take a picture of the other side, the back, the front, you know, odometer. It's maybe 8 to 10 photos they suggest that you take, right?
Basically.
Yeah, basically. And I might have took like maybe 4 more on top of that, right? Yeah. So anyways, I get the car back. And, you know, I meet with Curtis. I sit down with him. Again, we've been talking throughout the week because he knows I'm new to Turo. Also, I could tell he's an entrepreneur. He actually came up here and hung out with me in the office for about an hour during his trip. Word. Yeah, okay. Just to find out more about the DJ company and my other companies and stuff. So anyways, we built a relationship. Man, matter of fact, he texted me this morning. You know, so we still chat. But anyways, Curtis brings back my car. And I'm not that big of a smell person. Like I mean, I could smell. I was like, did he smoke in this car? But what I saw was the ashes. You know, when you smoke, you can see like. And I asked him, I was like, bro, I was like, did you smoke in this car? He goes, yeah, I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I couldn't be too mad because I didn't put "do not smoke in my car" on the listing.
Yeah,
I should have.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really his fault. You know, and the other thing that was wrong with that trip is, again, it's the X5, you know, with the M3 package on it.
Yeah.
So my wheels are dope on my car. Yeah. He curved it, man. He curved one of my wheels. Oh. And then he's like, oh, man. He goes, no, I don't think I did that. And I was like, check this out, Curtis. This is the photo. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I ended up getting a good photo of that wheel before he took it. And then I was able to show him afterwards.
Was the front right?
No, it was actually the back left, back driver's side left.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, man. So he was really cool about it. He's like, Isaac, you know what, man? He goes, I'm sorry. You know, just let me know what it costs, and I'll go ahead and take care of that. So he ended up paying me, and I didn't charge him a lot. You know, I did the same thing you did as far as the smoke. I took a red carpet. They ran that machine through it for like 4 or 5 hours. They said they left it running, and for the wheel, I think I just billed them 150 or something like that for the wheel, so they can get it repaired. But that's when I learned, like, holy crap, man! If I didn't have that one photo. Yeah, I would have been screwed. And I know, again, some of you guys are looking for those golden nuggets. Take lots of photos. I mean, as you look up tutorials, you're going to hear lots of photos, and you don't realize the little things that might break on that damn car, and you're like, I just thought that thing was too little to take a photo of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, that was my first experience.
You're 100% right. Take photos of everything. And I asked if it was the front right because that's typically, you know, the side you park on, and like you dip into the curb area on that side of the car. And so I'm taking pictures of I take pictures of everything now, but just documenting all of that and getting a clear pic, because there's some times where I checked in at night and I didn't turn the flash on, and I was just like ready to go to bed, and so turn the flash on, whatever you got to do to get a clear photo. And then even, you know, if you have little scuffs and whatnot, because there was one on the Camry that I know wasn't there,
right?
And I don't even remember who it was because it's in and out so much,
right?
But it's big enough to where it's like, oh man, I could have charged them for that or something like that. So
how many photos do you take on average? Would you say
probably like 25?
I say we take about 70 now.
Yeah,
we're up to 70, and as a matter of fact, I had one of our guys on my team who's helping me he's assisting me on the Turo side.
Yeah,
he's actually works here in the office for GTE.
Yeah,
but I mean, I just need the help. With all the cars that we have. He came up with a checkoff sheet. Yeah. So we're about 70 photos now. Every time a car comes out and comes back in.
Yeah. I think that's not even overdoing it. So I'm like, okay, I need to step it up. So honestly, like when I'm in a hurry, and that's the other thing, like help.
Right.
So when you have help and someone's not rushed to do things, and I'm realizing that I do need help right away. And so we talked about sharing somebody or you know, collaborating on a runner or something like that. But if someone has the time and that's their purpose is to document,
right,
and we emphasize that, like, that's only going to help us in the future, because if someone returns and they're like, I didn't do that. So here's the thing, my Range Rover, I have a Range Rover.
Yeah, talk about that experience.
So it's murdered out, and I didn't.
Experience number 2.
Here we go. So it was my first time. So he returned it. I checked it out, and it was getting dark, and as I was checking it out, I seen the rim, and it gouged it, right? And it hurt
beyond repair.
Yeah,
you had to buy a new one.
No. It was just so big that it's so noticeable because everything's murdered out on it. It's all black, on black.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? And so where I messed up, because I tried to make it. First of all, he denied it. Right. And he already gave me a good review. I gave him a good review, and I was like, bro, like, this is, and that's what I'm trying to time now, like, really take those pictures and then just know that I can give them a quality review. Right. And so he denied it. I said, bro, no, this is you. We can either take care of this on the side, or I can, you know, do this through Turo.
Right.
And so it's actually still under review. I haven't got it. I quoted it out. It's probably going to be $250-$300 to fix. And it's been sitting because, you know, I feel bad. Like, for anybody driving that, they've rented that vehicle for funerals, weddings, like, so far. Right. Yeah. And it's a clean vehicle, and it
looks fly. Yeah. And it doesn't look fly anymore. Yeah, I got it.
And you can feel it.
Yeah.
So, really just documenting that. When I checked it into him, he picked it up at like between 8 and 9 o'clock at night on a Friday. And so it was dark. So my, what's holding it up, I think, is the pre-photo that I have has a glare, and it could either be that, like, you can almost not tell. Like, it's the worst situation. I'm just like, I got to eat $300, but, it's just part of the game. So, like, that made me take more photos, especially of the rims, because I started researching rim rash, Turo, like, all that kind of stuff, and people are like, man, it's just part of the game. Like, you just gotta deal with it. But see, that's just going back to the emotional thing, is that was the first car I bought. I purchased the Range, and I was like, I'm gonna drive this until I get all the other cars. You know what I mean? Because the Tesla that I do drive now, they were like, they had to get it shipped over here, so I didn't get that for like 3 weeks or something like that. So I was driving man, I love the Range Rover. Like, I took that to a cabin with my family and all that kind of stuff. So that hurt for me, and renting that car out, I'm probably the most emotionally attached to that car. And so to have the rim rash on that, man, that sucked. But I found a company that does it locally in Fresno. So
we'll talk more about that, because, you know, I think me and you together teamed up, like, because I got to take some rims in too, you know. But I'm like, yo, you're gonna be our rim guy. Hook us up, you know.
We could literally endorse them on these future, like, episodes on Turo, literally. And I think just having shared resources that we can use, because, like, now I really need a collision guy, like, just for the little tiny dents or the scuffs that aren't. They have, like, standards where if it's not bigger than 2 inches, they're not covering it. Like Turo. And if you're on a plan that's higher than 65%, 65-35, they'll literally cover normal wear and tear. But nobody wants to be on, like, that's so it's like, most people, the average is the 75 plan. And that's what I'm on right now.
That's what I use.
And so it doesn't cover small scratches and dents, especially that are smaller than 2 inches. But 2 inches, you know what I mean? Like, it could be a gush, or it could be like the paint is scraped off, or it could just be something you could buff out. But man, it's those little things. So it's not for the weak-hearted. If you hate car scratches, luckily I've gotten some stuff fixed in the past where I know it's fixable. And you can still rent the cars out with scuffs and whatnot. You just got to document it.
So I have an idea for you, Ray. And you know, I know you said that you don't meet with a lot of people, and I meet with people. You know, I eventually want to have a staff that meets with people, and I don't want to meet after hours. So I'll figure that. I have yet not to ever meet anyone for our cars, right? But now part of my process is like, hey guys, do me a favor, check out the car, and now that you check the car, I want to do a walkthrough with you, guys. So wheels and tires is my thing, everything I own. So I want to let you guys know, look at that wheel, look at that tire. Do you see any scrapes or scuffs or anything like that? No. We go to the back one. Next. I was like, guys, I'm pointing this out, guys, because I need you to know that the wheels and tires is my thing. Yeah. I mean, I like my stuff to look dope. And with that being said, I'd hate to have to charge you to either repair it or replace it. So now, would you guys agree with me? Everything's good? Cool. And then I take specific photos of the tire. And when I even take a picture of the tire, I use a tire gauge now so people can see how much tread it is. And just in case someone ever tells me or tries to tell Turo, well, I got an accident because my tires were bald. Something I learned on one of those, what did you say you paid for? Like the workshops,
the mastermind. The
masterminds.
Yeah.
So someone actually sent me a bootleg copy.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I didn't think I needed it because I had YouTube, I had Ray, and I was like, okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Bro, so I bought all these cars, right? And then I'm looking at this mastermind, thinking to myself, damn it, I should have looked at the mastermind first before buying all these cars. Anyways, I'm already a month in, and so anyways, my tip for you, I know you're not meeting with these people, but you know how you can get the number if you go into their account, right? And you can get their text message information.
Yeah.
You should probably do a video walkthrough, like, hey guys, check this out. I'm not going to be able to meet you, but wheels and tires is my thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm going to do a walk around with you guys right now. Maybe have a newspaper or something you can prove what date it is.
Yeah.
You know, and then like shoot that video over to them. Yeah. You know, so
just document. That's just documenting it, and that's the one thing you said. Tire treads and checking the tire tread. That's one thing I hear constantly on the mastermind, and what they talk about is the fast cars. So you got the Vet, right?
Yeah,
and I
have the Vet.
I don't have a Vet, but I have a Mustang 5.0, and those cars are fun to drive, man. I've driven them in the past, like the old school ones. But literally, you could peel out easily. Just come and turning right off a red light, or turning right off a red light and just taking off. But I heard one guy take off before, like driving away.
In your car? Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I didn't even take a picture of the tire tread. Yeah. So taking pictures of the tire tread too is a big, especially the back ones on the sports cars.
Right.
But that's what I've heard, so I'll pass that along for sure, because you know, the Mustang is starting to do really well. The Mustangs and Corvettes are supposed to do really, really well.
Right.
And so I've been documenting the tire treads along with the rims a whole lot more up close and personal. Right. For sure. Yeah.
So my issue with the Corvette right now is I've been using a penny and taking a photo because it's so small that my tire meter doesn't fit inside of the wheel well because it's so low.
Yeah.
So I've been using a penny. Someone said I can get away with a penny. I just don't know where the tire should be to the penny, you know. But I could it feels deep enough, you know. So I got to figure out that information. But getting back to more stories, you know, got another one for you. So when people rent your car, I don't know if you noticed this. Normally they give you a reason as to why they're renting it. Yep. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yes.
So I second rental, BMW X5 again. Mm-hmm. I get this gal. She says, "Hey, my car is breaking down. I'm a nursing student, you know, and I really need something reliable because Uber and Lyft are proven to be unreliable." Right. So here I'm thinking, you know, cars in a shop. That's how she made her situation seem. Cars in a shop. She needs something reliable to get her by for the week, right? Yeah. So give her the keys. And I gotta let you know, man, I was a little sketchy with this one. Yeah. I was super sketchy, and my gut was saying back out. I didn't back out. She was a nice lady, but man, it just something didn't feel right. So, anyways, I hand her the keys, right, and I'm telling them, and I now learned, ask people if your cars require premium fuel. Ask them to keep their gas receipts or text you the gas receipts to prove they're putting premium fuel in the cars. Yeah, and it's all my cars besides one require premium fuel. Yeah. So I asked her. I said, "Hey, listen, do me a favor if you don't mind. Take a picture of a photo. Take a picture of your receipt and text it to me." "Yeah, Isaac, I'll do it. Sounds good." So 3 days later, 4 days later, I'm not seeing a receipt. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? We got trackers in these cars. Yeah. Let me see how far she went. Bro, you know where my BMW was?
Where is that?
I didn't tell you?
No.
She was in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me.
Bro, she was in Vegas. Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah.
No. She was in Henderson.
Yeah,
And it was she was staying at the Luxor.
What?
Anyways, bro. So now I'm going back to the history of the car, right? And, not only do they track, but I could tell how fast they drove in the car. Yeah. The fastest they drove the car was 107 miles per hour and going through the Mojave. Geez. You know what, man? I smashed it there, but that was my car, you know? So, anyways, I didn't see any gas receipts. And I know by this time I should have seen at least 3 gas receipts. Yeah. Right? So I decided to shoot her a text. And I say, hey, listen, I hope you're enjoying the car. I want to remind you, I ask that you send me your gas receipts proving that you use premium fuel, so please don't forget to do so. Also, I can tell that you're enjoying the car. I ask that you please obey all the laws of the road. And my wife was there, and she's aware of the situation, and she goes, you should put enjoy Vegas. Yeah. And I was like, well, why? And she goes, the other reason why is because in the same text, I also told the client, I said, hey, listen, my car lets me know when you drive over a certain miles per hour. That's why I said, obey all the laws of the road. So my wife's like, if you don't put enjoy Vegas, they're probably going to think to themselves, does your car really report to you how fast it's been driven? Mm-hmm. So I ended my text message with, and by the way, I hope you guys are enjoying Vegas. Yeah. Can you imagine being the client and getting that text message like, holy crap, he knows where I'm at?
Exactly, yep.
So anyways, yeah, man. So they brought the car back, and it was... everything was good except the crack in the windshield, man. So, yes. And because... I didn't start taking good photos at this time. She was my second renter, mind you. So I didn't think to get photos of the windshield. Yeah. I can't prove because my photos aren't good. Yes. Yeah. Because now I have a nice crack in the windshield. Mm-hmm. So, and I hit her up on the side. I said, hey, listen, there's a crack in the windshield. I can either take care of this with you or I can go to Turo. And she responded with, I can't predict what's going to happen on the road. Something like a rock chip, I shouldn't be responsible for. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's why we buy insurance in life, to cover us when things happen unexpectedly. I was like, that's cool. I was like, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to fix it before I report it to Turo. And if you don't want to, that's totally cool. I just wanted to give you a heads up first. And again, I gave her a 5-star review. She gave me a 5-star review. You know what I mean? Kind of. Anyways, man. So that was the deal with my second Turo trip. Car went out of town. Came back with a cracked windshield. Oh man.
I think you handled it well though. So one other thing is that we talk about some of the issues with the clients and whatnot. But through the process, and I can tell you did just with that story, just being customer service based and really being friendly. And like you said with, hey, I just want to give you the opportunity. This crack wasn't here beforehand. I wanted to give you the opportunity to, take care of it beforehand. And if you are objective to it, then I'm just going to have to go through Turo for it and we'll solve it that way. Just being nice. Right. Because you kind of have to finesse. And yes, you're upset. Like there's so many times I was upset with things that I had to deal with. It's like 110 outside or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like you're just you could be in a mood, but you don't want to come off that way because the client's going to be defensive. You don't want them to get defensive or, it's going to come out black and white at the end of the day. You just want to get paid. So if they're willing to pay it, you don't want to rub them the wrong way. Right. Yeah. So just always coming from a place of curiosity versus... hey, you did this, and you're like, don't come off accusing somebody. But hey, I have pictures of before, you rented the car when I checked it in. I got it back, and I just realized this crack is here. Want to give you an opportunity to just tell me about it and how we can solve it. Right. You know what I mean? It's crazy because I'm sure you have the same thing in your DJ business, right, and wedding business, and so I approach people the same way in real estate. So it's just. And even prior to that, I worked in Best Buy sales, and it's the same thing. It's just customer service. Right. But ultimately, you want to get your reimbursement and get it fixed and get it back on the road. Right. Right. And so that's one thing I would like to point out is really just coming from that place where you're trying to solve the problem, but also be friendly at the same time. Right. Yes. Sounds cool, man. Sorry about that. Oh, you're good. Second renter, right? Oh, that was the second renter. No, actually, that was my third renter because the second renter didn't work out.
And I don't know if you had this happen, but I had to go pick someone up at the airport, right? And shout out to Curtis again, my first renter, because he's like, Isaac, charge $120. When I first started charging for delivery to the airport, I started at 50, then I went to 60, and I went to 75. He goes, I didn't charge the max because I didn't think people would do it. He goes, now I just charge 120 all day long. He's like, so just put it at 120. Dude, he left that day, Jeep gets booked out, $120 just for a pickup, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, he made me $120 on top of cool cap. Anyways, bro, so I'm driving to the airport, pick up this gentleman who I thought I was going to pick up, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for him to come into the car. His wife comes out. He goes, hey, I'm here to pick up the car for. And I was like, I'm sorry, miss. I can't give you the car. I have to give the car to the person who actually booked this.
Yeah.
You know, where's he at? I'll wait for him. Well, I'm actually here by myself. I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Right? So she goes, I really need this car, yada, yada, yada. And I tell her, listen, miss, I cannot give you the car. She goes, but look, I have my husband's driver's license right here. He was in Utah. She was here in town for one of those big swim meets that happens at Clovis West.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she tried to get she's pissed off at me. Yeah. Because I wouldn't give her the keys, and she's, I don't get it. I have good insurance. You know, I have my husband's information right here. Here, you're on the phone with him, FaceTime. You know it's him. Yeah. She's right. But per Turo rules, I cannot give up those keys. And I had to tell her, I was like, yo, let's check this out. You guys didn't read the way this works.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure this out for you so I don't leave you here stranded. Yeah. And when I approached her like that, I felt like she forced me to be a little bit of a jerk to make her realize you're in the wrong. I'm trying to help you. Slow your roll.
Yeah.
You know, so I called Turo, tried to get the reservation switched up, put in her name, never worked out. And anyway, so never worked out, right, bro?
Yeah.
She ends up coming back here from the airport, you know, while she's trying to get my Jeep under her name.
Right.
Nicole ends up following me over here because she thinks I'm going to be stranded at the airport. Anyways, push comes to shove. She's never able to make it work out, and Nicole goes and drops her off over at the swim meet. Right. Never rent out the Jeep. Now, Turo trying not to pay me. Yeah. They're like, oh, hey, because of the situation, we want to let you know it's not your fault, and because of that, we went ahead and refunded the client their money.
Right.
I was like, yo, time out. No. And then I wrote them. I said, I drove to the airport. I picked them up. I did everything I was supposed to do.
For the 120?
No, they ended up paying me like $255 now.
Okay.
Because now I got a percentage of the total trip on top of the 120 for just picking them up. But bro, they try to get out of not paying. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So it's kind of another thing for you get. Man, if Turo can get away with not paying you, they're gonna try. You know. Yeah. So fortunately, that fight, it wasn't it's just me explaining my my proposition on it, and they're like, yeah, we agree with you. We'll go ahead and pay you out. So
and on that, that's a great story, by the way, because I haven't had that happen yet, but I hear a lot of stories in that mastermind where people show up and it's not really them,
right?
So really checking their ID and all that kind of stuff, because it could be different where it's two gentlemen and one of one's not the right guy, and so
and for those people listening, guys, not only checking their ID but making sure that driver's license is not expired. That's big. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just going back to the airport pickup. So going a little deeper on that, so Fresno Airport's really small.
Right.
We're talking about all the parking, all the new airlines that are getting contracts to fly to Vegas or direct flights places.
Uh-huh.
The airport's not growing.
Right.
The actual, size where you check in, baggage claim, like all those places. We're not getting more gates. I don't know what the deal is or if they're changing that. So, what I've noticed several times, because I've been flying in and out a lot, is that there's lines at the car rental companies, and a lot of them get turned away like, hey, we're out of cars, or this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so to have that pickup and drop-off service is huge. You know what I mean? And it's so convenient. I went to Dallas, and this dude literally, and Dallas is huge. It's like LAX.
Yeah.
Right? And so I go there. I bought Wi-Fi on my flight from Fresno to Dallas. And, I'm on social media, checking my emails. And I was like, I don't want to take an Uber. It's going to cost me more to Uber around Dallas for a day than if I rented a Turo car.
Right.
And that's where I got the idea to, find a host and whatnot. But the dude had airport service. And he's like, I specialize in airport service. We'll pick you up right after you get your bags.
Right.
Dude, curbside service. handed me the keys. Someone followed him to pick him up, his employee.
Yeah.
I took pictures and I was gone.
Right.
It was super. And I look over prior to that when I was waiting for my bags. I look over and there's a line at the rental car place.
Right.
People are just like in a hurry. They're stressed out. It's the airport. You know what I mean? So like curbside service to get your rental car dropped off.
You hear that, guys? If you're watching this, book Turo. Way more convenient.
Yeah, and Fresno, I mean, they only have like one person at each counter for Hertz, Enterprise, Budget, Alamo, whatever. And there's lines, literally.
Yeah.
And so there's an opportunity there at the airport because I've only done one so far, and I try to do it. I Googled how to deliver, and I literally couldn't. I could not drop off the car to them directly. I was literally flying out the same day.
Right.
And so I think they were arriving at 11 a.m. the next day. Oh, yeah, so it was the next day, actually. So, and I was flying out at 8 p.m., something like that. So basically, I washed up the car, I packed up, washed the car, and I dropped the car off in like the short-term, long-term parking, whatever. Yeah. And I left the cash for the amount in there, and I said, you just have to pay this when you get out, or I'm going to charge you with the receipt, keep the receipt, take a picture. And so here's that, because I didn't have the booking with the airport service. She booked it instantly. Right?
Oh,
she booked it instantly and was like, hey, can you pick me up at the airport? Like this and other.
So you went backwards a little bit.
I did. Yeah. So I just didn't know what to do, and I was flustered, and I was just like, yeah, I'll make it happen for you. You know what I mean? I already said okay, but after I said okay.
Yeah, it cost you money.
Yeah, I was literally like, it's the same amount to Uber to my house.
Right.
Where I had the car parked, and she could have just did that, and it would have been just as convenient, more convenient for me.
Right.
Because I think about things like dollar per hour. How much are you per hour when you're focused on money-making activities? And typically someone that has businesses like us, you know, we value ourselves anywhere from, it could be 200, 300 to 500.
It's funny you say that. So I was wondering, Ray, what do you value your hours at?
I like to, so doing math and, you know, the income streams that I have and whatnot, if I'm focused on money-making activities, I like to value myself at $500 an hour.
Damn, dude, I value myself at $250 an hour.
And I might be, it depends on the day, right? Because I can get distracted too, but I know that if I take top-line revenue, I do reverse engineer that, I can be worth $500 an hour. And so anything less than that, like the 120, it could be work because you can get that done in like 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And just to let you know, this is kind of how I work it out. Now, fortunately, I've still been able to make this work. Well, you know, what time do you guys fly in? Great. I'll pick them up from the airport if I can. And I tell them in my message, like, hey, guys, I'm going to pick you up. There's a hotel across the street. Do you mind dropping me off? Because you can't catch an Uber from our hotel. From our airport. I don't know if you know that. They make you go off. They're not supposed to go inside there.
Yeah.
So
you got to walk all the way to the end now.
Yeah. So I tell them, you know, before I said, hey, if you don't mind, I just drop me off across the street at one of the local hotels where I'll catch an Uber. Well, I never catch an Uber. I always have someone pick me up. But nonetheless, what I do, and you talked about this earlier, like, man, I'm trying to take a couple photos real quick and be gone.
Yeah.
I actually prep a half hour before. So I'm in no rush. The client's not around. So by the time they come, the only thing I really need to do is check their ID. Here's your keys, and they can bounce. Yeah. So I when I deliver a car, hardly ever will they ever see me taking photos.
Right.
You know, they will see me taking photos when the car comes back to me, of course. But anyways, yeah, man. So to kind of answer that, that's what I've been doing for airport pickups and stuff like that. I'll go pick them up and.
So I got my girlfriend's gonna be moving here next month, so we're gonna add the airport service to the fleet, and that's definitely going to pick up some. You know, it's gonna add the revenue for the 120, but I think the bookings will pick up if we offer that service on top of that. And so another thing, I know we were talking about dollar per hour and whatnot. So. Car washes, right? Like that's one thing I started realizing, like, man, so I had like the nice cars, I had the membership for red carpet. And so, you know, I don't know how other cities and other car wash companies are, but I think the full service car wash where you drive it to the car wash, you get out, they vacuum, they wash it, they dry it, they shine it up, and then you're on your way. that can take anywhere from 30 minutes. It can take an hour, depending on the line and what day it is.
Right.
Friday, everybody's trying to get their car fresh for the weekend.
Right.
And whatnot. And so I started realizing that. And then I think we talked about this where it's like, okay, it's $1 per hour. Again, is this worth my time? But, you know, for right now, for what I'm doing is being able to, because you're not washing the car, you're just waiting.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you can still we can work off our phones. It's 2021, a lot of things mobile. So just trying to make the most of the downtime that you're spending on the business. And, you know, I tell real estate agents the same thing. If you have a dead open house, make phone calls.
Right.
Like, make the most of your downtime. And increase the $1 per hour. Right. So those are the things. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, I don't even need. I could do a high schooler. Like, my daughter has one of her best friends. Her older sister just got. I don't know if I would trust her yet. Right. But you know, I just get ideas like, hey, go take this to the car wash, because they don't have to drive it through the bracket or anything like that. Right. They literally pull up, they vacuum. You know, they get out, and then the company takes it through. And so, just understanding little things like that. And so I ended up getting all the cars on the membership. Right. And, I'm trying to figure out the best times of day to take it so that I'm not waiting there for like an hour and a half.
So this is what I did, Ray. This might help you out. It might help some of you guys out there. I did too. I got the best memberships I could buy, right? And you're right. Depending on when you go, you could be there for a half hour. You could be there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I started telling people, like, hey, guys, listen. The way I give you the car is the way I expect my car back. You don't have to bring it back like this. Just know these are the options. You don't have to fill it. I'm going to charge you this much. Bring it back to me with whatever gas. You don't have to wash it. Just I'll take it afterwards, but I'm going to bill you this much. However, for you to bring it back to me the way I'm giving it to you, it costs you nothing other than time. It's already prepaid, so I show them where the thing is, and I let them know what car wash that I want them to go through, so it comes back with the full service wash. Yeah. Because I, too, am thinking about, like, okay, on average, I would say my average employee, I want to pay him roughly about $20 an hour. Right. Which realistically is, the taxes you have to pay is $22 an hour, right? Right. If they have a car, just for the car wash purposes, dude, that's $44 for 2 hours I paid them. And they're not going to do anything other than just wait for the car to be done. Yeah. That's $44 I have to pay. So I started telling people, hey, if I have to take the car to the car wash, this is how much I'm going to charge you. Yeah. If you do it, I ain't going to charge you anything. Yeah. So that's kind of how I'm getting more for my more bang for my buck, if you will. Yeah. I don't know if it's right or not, but hey, if I rented something, I'm going to bring it back to the person the way that I rented it out, or pay the convenience of, like, thanks for your car, brother. Here you go. Bill me whatever you need to. I'm out. Yeah.
So the guy, and I'll give you guys this, the guy that I rented from, the guy that followed him when I did the second pickup, coming back through Dallas. This is when I was picking his brain on parking and whatnot. So he had his guy follow him. I was like, how many employees do you have? He has 4 for 60 fleet of 60 cars. And so the guy picked him up. I was like, what are those in the back seat? I mean, excuse me, the trunk. And he lifted the blanket, and it was all car seats. I was like, oh, are those for the renter? He's like, yeah. Like, when people, he's like, we specialize in the airport, and it's a lot of people travel with their kids. And so I charge, $30, $50 for the add-on, and it's a convenience for them. But I mean, I could buy a whole nother car seat with this, but so it starts becoming pretty consistent. Right. And he's like, if you're going to do airport service, do the car seats. Like, it's not going to be a super big, significant, like, you're not going to get rich off of it, obviously, but it'll be an extra income stream. It can increase, depending on how many cars you're delivering at the airport.
Bro, if you can make $5,000 a year just because you had the car seat to go in the car, like,
yeah. Count for car seat, right? Yeah. You paid $30 for the car seat.
I don't know.
I haven't bought $30 to $100. You don't have to get the.
It shows how long we bought a car.
Since we bought a car exactly.
Seat. Hey, Chris, how much is a car seat?
$85.99. Okay, there you go. And they got booster seat, because I just bought my son a booster. He's like 6. So he got the booster seat, and that thing's like, I think it was like $30 to $50 or something like that. So I mean, it's a low cost investment for a long time upgrade, right? Or upcharge, if you will. Yeah. So those, and then I started looking at different car rental companies and seeing their extra services. So they would offer things like GPS and which everybody has a phone now, so that's whatever. But like even phone cords, because you can charge them if they lose it. So even if they don't have a phone cord, you can have an option on there for like $10 or whatever for the duration. Like just leave it in there. But I see people charging for phone cords and all that kind of stuff. So and then I started doing prepaid fuel tanks. So I'm still trying to figure out how to be the most profitable on that, because I mean, I think and I could be wrong on this, and this is just how my brain works, but I think people bank on, because not a lot of people are going to time it to bring it back on E.
Right.
So if they prepaid the fuel, for example, up front, and let's just say $60 for an economy car, and they come back, they pay $60, but they bring it back on half.
Right.
Then you made $30.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is there. But I don't think people are really going to bring it back on, 1/8 of a tank or whatever.
Right.
Because it's just like the concept of them not I rent cars a lot, and so the concept of having to go fill up before, I'm usually kind of in a rush. I got like a calendar to maintain, so like, man, stopping at the gas station is always inconvenient.
Right.
It puts me behind, and so
bro, I got to tell you, I don't think there's a lot of people that think like this though. I don't, man. I really don't like.
Well, we're banking on them being forgetful,
and we pay. I feel like we pay for convenience.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like whatever.
Yeah.
See ya. Thank you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. That parking in front's gonna cost me $250. Damn it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those little things like that, but those are the little tips and tricks. So I'm documenting like, okay, what did I make off of this? What did I make off of that? And so just being able to share that, because like you said in the beginning, bro, like I posted 2 cars on my Instagram, and my DMs started blowing up because it's something new and it's something that's making money and it's a nice car. Like I think I posted the Range and the Jeep.
Right.
And man, I was like, I already talked to you at this point, so I'm cool with it. We're good buddies. So like,
yeah.
But I'm like, man, I want to wait a little bit because I don't even have the full-on experience yet, and I'm just trying to get this going. And so I want to now. I feel like sharing this here, we have more to give, and it's like our experience is only going to get better and better, and we're only going to get more and more profitable as we understand the business more and get more experience. And so, being able to share the story and the experience with people, all the way from how do we get cars under the business credit name or a personal name, which is better? How long does it take to, get a business established, or how do you even buy a car in your business name?
Right.
So giving out little details, and we really want to I know we talked about putting together kind of like a mastermind that either meets once a week or maybe twice a month or something like that, to share tips and tricks and really just have systems that we can share with people that I think are going to be really powerful, because I am part of a mastermind, but every experience is different. And like every time we hop on, and that one's weekly, and so it's actually tonight. So every week is different. Like everybody has a different story, and it's crazy because we share like insurance coverage, and we share just different airports have different ways that you can park.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like I was going to ask you when you were at Fresno and that lady was like throwing a fit or whatever.
Yeah.
You probably had to move because you probably pulled
I did.
over. Yeah.
Yes.
You can't even sit there.
Security came and said, "Yeah, you guys can't be here." And I was like, "I'm waiting for a flight." He goes, "There's no flights coming in for like 25 minutes. That's too long. You gotta like." It was crazy how he threw that in my face, and I was like, "All right, so let's cruise over to the hotel, and try to figure it out there."
Yeah, and it's just the little details of it. There's a lot of meat and potatoes, I think, that we can document and share. Another example is texting scripts. Like everything you want to document and communicate through and that's what I've learned. Document it by messaging through the app, because a lot of them will side text you too.
Right.
And you don't necessarily have that documented with Turo.
Right.
Right. And so I have text scripts, welcome scripts. I used to use the lock boxes before the remote.
That's good to know.
Figuring out the remotes. So I had a YouTube video. It's not even my YouTube video. It was just like how to use the lockbox, how to access, and how to install when you're done.
Right.
But it's literally just texting scripts, and you just change out the name. One time I was tired, and I'd call somebody to say, I called him Kevin, his name is John, and I was like, my bad, bro. But literally, it's the same. You find yourself having the same conversations with clients. So you can probably get 80% of the text messages scripted, and to save time, just swap out the name, and everything else is already kind of,
later. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, a lot to it. It's just like any other business, man. Like it's
how many trips do you have underneath your belt now?
I know I have more than 10. It's probably like 30.
Damn.
Around there.
I'm at 16.
Yeah. So it's probably like 30 or maybe a little bit more. But I know the next time. So my goal. Okay, I'll share. I don't know how much longer we're going, but.
Damn, what time do we start?
I'm gonna give you this tip.
All right, cool.
So being a real estate agent, I started understanding reviews. Right, like reviews are what gets you to the top of searches and whatnot. And so I realized there's a couple cars that are just like mine on Turo, just different colors and models and whatnot. So for instance, I knew the cars that I get, my goal was to break even with the payments and the overhead on car washes and maintenance and insurance and whatnot. So I purposefully listed all the cars at a little bit lower price, maybe about 10%, so that I could just get bookings and give good experiences and get reviews.
Did it work?
Yeah, so it did. I have what I need to be what's called an all-star host. All-star hosts gives you a little badge, and basically the algorithm has your vehicles up higher, and your trust factor with clients is a lot more. Like I skipped everybody who wasn't an all-star host when I was in Dallas,
right?
And so they trust you more, and they're just, you're more reliable,
right,
at the end of the day. And so I've increased 5%, and I'm gonna, because you have the number of bookings of your vehicles too. So I have, let's just say, average 5 to 10 bookings per vehicle now, and there's 5 to 10 reviews on each, for example. Now people are starting to trust me more as a host. So they do this quarterly where they review you for your all-star badge, and I think the next date is October 15th. And so after October 15th, I should have my all-star badge, and I think I can increase the prices and charge what I should be getting, because that's all profitability right there. And I purposefully did that because all I wanted to do was break even, or even make a little bit. But I knew I didn't want to be greedy up front and be like, okay, I'm charging the same, but I have no stars, no trips, and I'm charging the same as the all-star host. Yeah, they're gonna choose him all day long. Right. So like, if I can get my profile looking like his and the listings looking like his, then I can increase it 2 months down the road, and then that's where the profits will start rolling in. And so I think the other thing is, I would love for you to just mention this before we wrap up, but pictures, because pictures is something I got to do, and you showed me yours, bro, and it looks like a magazine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, owning a company that does photography and videography all the time definitely had definitely a blessing, So it's you got the rock star photographer sitting behind the cameras right now recording this for us. But yeah, if you guys go on my Turo listing, in Fresno, and look for Isaac Atkinson, all the cars that I have listed, all besides the Altima, we kind of it was an Altima, but everything else is like dialed in, man. Like my Rubicon, sick, at the country club. The vet inside of that parking structure, the X5 like out in the woods, like, oh dude, and man, I'm actually picking up another X5 this week. So I got to do another photo shoot with the new X5 coming in.
I think just to stand out, and we do this in real estate because we obviously have photographers for the listings, but the whole concept is it's all online, so you only see one cover photo. And if you're like, his is night and day from everybody else. Right? So
I smash on everyone.
So like, it's internet. So if you like something, you're going to click on it and then swipe through all the other photos. So you want to have the most click-throughs for your listings. If you want to, they call it, when you're scrolling through Instagram, they call it stopping the scroll. Everything's just looking the same and nothing's sticking out to you. You stop it, you're like, man, I want to know more, or click on that, you know what I mean, or watch that video, or whatever the case may be. But if your listing sticks out and looks great, that goes back to the red seats on the Camry.
Right.
Like if they're like, man, it pops. The listing pops online. Like they're going to be more attracted to that listing, and your chances of getting booked are higher than the others.
And thank you for that tip. So a lot of the cars I bought, like I bought the Rubicon with the peanut butter guts, you know, the inside. Because you said, you're like, buy unique things.
Yeah.
If that was my personal vehicle, I don't know if I would have bought it like that. But now that I own it, I'm glad I did, because it's just, I don't know, normally I'll go for black or, you know. But, and then the Vet, I mean, it has black interior and black on black, but that yellow on the rainbow brakes and around the wheel, it's like, dude, it pops. And then you got the yellow stitching inside on that, man. And, man, so I owe that to you, because I get so many compliments on the color combinations of those two cars.
Yeah, I'm looking at, a couple of economy cars too, and so I got picked up I just got back from Cabo, but the Uber picked us up in even just like a Kia Rio. They had like black and red interior, and I'm trying different ones because so I have economy all the way up to my best car is probably the Range, and the most expensive cars are probably the Range Rover, the Jeep, and the Tesla Model 3. Right, and so, but I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well, you know, some of the economy cars do really well. Like the guy in Dallas got me thinking all of his are economy. Right. And I was like, okay.
So I screwed up with my economy car.
Which one? The Altima?
I should have never bought it.
Right.
But I think that's like, man, we've been talking for a while. I think that was like another reason why. Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, he says economy car. I'm with it. Now, mind you, that Altima, dude, I should have passed.
Yeah.
Oh, man, should I pass? I'll tell you guys the reason on the next pod.
Liam, we can do that. Definitely. So we're gonna keep it going, but on episodes and just sharing experiences. But those little tips and tricks, man. I swear that the marketing's huge, because that sets the tone for everything. And
speaking of marketing, did you come up with like an Instagram name for your cars on Turo?
I didn't yet, man. So I want to put them on there, and definitely do the photo shoot. I've been so bogged down, to be honest, and it's just been a blur like the last two months, and especially with school starting with the kids. And not making excuses, but it's definitely on my to-do list.
You should just pay me to do that for you.
We could make it happen.
We'll take the cars at different spots. Okay, cool. I got to do the same thing. You know, it's time for me to build an Instagram profile for all the vehicles. I don't know if Turo is going to be the only platform I go. I think I'm going to try Hire Car, you know, as well, because again, some of the cars aren't profiting the way that I would want them to.
So here's the other thing, and then we can say this for a future episode, because we can dig deep into this, but you know, at the mastermind they said private bookings. They have private contracts, and you get 100%. So if you have your own commercial insurance, if you trust somebody, to book again from you, and you know who you trust after having an experience and just talking with them, but doing private bookings too, and taking them offline, and really just doing direct.
Right.
And so, you know, getting more profitable, they said that, you know, the most profit comes from those private bookings, and I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
Dig deeper on that. But Hire Car, too, where they can rent your car and use it for, you know, Uber Eats or Uber and stuff like that.
Bro, that's what a lot of people are using my Altima for.
For real?
Dude, the guy, hey, bro, he's like, your car is so cheap that I have to do 4 Instacart drops, and it pays for your car, and I get your car free for the rest of the day.
So you did it on Hire Car already?
No, I didn't put it on. It was on Turo.
Okay.
It was on Turo, but the guy picked it up. He's like, he goes, Isaac, he goes, I plan to use your car for. He was cool. I was like, shit, I don't care. You use it, you're renting it. Use it for whatever you want.
Bro, Hire Car. I don't even think there's any cars.
No.
Because I downloaded the app and everything. I'm like, well, maybe I'll throw. And that's the thing. I just lagged on not putting it on. So it is juggling. If you run multiple like businesses or ventures or have a day job or whatever, definitely got to set time to time block the back end stuff, because we're always on the go. We're always doing things, but all the back end stuff, if you don't have help, that's how I know my indicators, and like, bro, I need help.
Right.
So I'm fortunate enough that I have a girlfriend who's going to be, you know, doing the venture with me, and then my daughter on little things.
Right.
But it's like just streamlining everything, because it's the customer experience too. I don't want to miss details like that. I like to represent things at a quality level that that represents well.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you do too.
So one tip, we should wrap this up, man. I can't believe how long we've been going. You share one thing with these people that you wish you would have known, or what would you say?
For Turo,
they're thinking about it. What is one thing that you would say, like, yo, just be on the lookout for this?
You know, honestly, it's getting. My whole concept was getting things into the business name, and I personally guaranteed the financing for it. So combination financing. Want to make sure your numbers make sense. So really crunch your numbers, but. There was a couple instances where I purchased the vehicles and I personally guaranteed, the application for credit, and it shows up in your business name, but it's not supposed to. When you personally guarantee it, it doesn't show up on your personal credit. There was two vehicles that they didn't run it as a personal guarantee. They ran it as a co-applicant.
Oh.
So those two cars are now on my personal credit.
Yeah.
Right? And I need to get those out into the business name.
Right.
It's in the business name, but it's on my personal credit report.
We'll talk about how to do that next time.
Exactly.
And if I had to give a tip, which is super big, is go pay for someone's mastermind before you get into this. You might spend $1,000, $1,500. I don't know what you're going to spend. But believe me when I say it is a small cost to pay to find out if you truly want to be in this business, and to help you help you get set up for success if you plan to stay in the business. Worst case scenario, maybe you go through it and you're like, yo, this ain't for me. Dude, count that $1,500 spent as a blessing. That's what I would say.
And the more we're doing this, the more we realize we should put together a mastermind. So we're getting to that point. Honestly,
Ray's like, we're gonna sell our own.
Honestly, like we might as well, because I feel like we're gonna be sharing so much, and I'm into it. You know what I mean? Like I'm having fun. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, but
it feels like a hobby. This actually feels like a hobby.
Yeah, and doing it with your friends and driving fly cars, and you know what I mean. It's fun, and I like to share, and I don't like to see people fall on their face. And so, fortunately, I was able to invest into a mastermind, and that's part of their concept. Is like, hey, document everything, take your experience, and share it with everybody else, and create your own mastermind. And so. I'm excited because Isaac's here with me, and I've always wanted to do something with Isaac. You know what I mean? And
who would have knew it was me about cars?
Exactly,
that's
right?
Dope.
So look out for that in the future, and that's something we're looking forward to sharing.
And if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how can that happen?
Yeah, so as of right now, just my email is ray@raymeyer.com, or text me. I was going to get a text. Actually, I'm not going to send my text. So let's do email for now. But I'm getting one of those.
Until you sign up for it. You sign up.
Yeah. So I'll do that. So, but shoot me an email, and we could brainstorm, or we can have a conversation and set up a time to talk. Yeah.
If you guys want to get at me, guys, just look me up on the gram. Isaac_Atkinson_. Shoot me a DM, and love to answer any question or help any way I can.
Yeah. Oh, my Instagram is DRayMeyer. So,
that's what
I forgot about Instagram. So.
Anyways, we need to work on his marketing. Forgot about Instagram. It's all about Instagram, man. Oh, so with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning into our first, show or interview or whatever the hell you want to call it. It was a good time.
We'll name it.
Yeah, later. Most definitely. Yeah. We'll be doing this again. Stay tuned because I have a feeling the content's going to be fire.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Deuces.